And welcome to Girl Talk. We're here today at Rubens Contemporary Furniture. We're going to learn a little bit about the promotions they have going on in March, talking to one of their interior designers. So we're excited to hear about that.
And before we even talk about that, we should say we have a couple special faces joining us today on Girl Talk. This is Stacy Hansen. She does our real estate news, so you might recognize her face. And maybe you remember Michelle. Michelle's joined us before on Girl Talk. Thanks for joining me today, ladies.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure.
It would have been singular Girl Talk.
It's going to be fun. I'm excited.
Well, we love coming to Rubens, and we'll be chatting with one of their interior designers. They always have great ideas, and they like to say that they really do have something for everyone here. I think last time she mentioned that they have kind of a reputation of being a more expensive place, and she wanted to just make sure that we understood that they really do have everything for all the different price points out there. So
They really do.
yeah,
And
so
two locations, so that makes it a lot easier for people on the west side and downtown. So.
absolutely, absolutely. Who else do we have today, Stacy?
Well, we also have Ironstone Nest on today, talking about decorating with vintage books and paper, pieces of paper from the books, just the pages. So it's going to be
Interesting.
really cool. So it reminds me actually. Talking about decorating with pages from books. I don't know if you guys caught this last fall at the Madison Museum of Contemporary Art. They had an exhibit. Natasha Nicholson is the artist. She makes jewelry, I believe. She's actually based in Madison, but they had an exhibit, Cabinet of Curiosities. And it was, they recreated her studio and rooms in her home within the museum itself. And I think of this because one of the things that she had were pages of books hanging, like tons of pages of books just hanging from the ceiling, just all together, and it just had this almost natural look, like leaves on a tree, and it was one of the most beautiful things. And just in general, this exhibit was incredible. I would recommend checking out this artist. It was called Cabinet of Curiosities, and the way she combined just found objects, fossils, vintage things was just amazing. I mean, you think you've seen that kind of thing before, but the way she did it was incredible. And really, I would say it was one of the most beautiful, inspiring exhibits I've seen in a while. And she's based in Madison.
Oh, how neat.
Well, I'm excited to see what Laura comes up with too and some of her ideas. She does a lot of do-it-yourself projects, so it's always interesting to hear what she says.
We can make our home look like that because of the classes that she offers.
That's a great idea.
Laura's from Ironstone Nest in Sun Prairie, and she's been our do-it-yourself expert over the past year. And typically she's been talking about furniture, taking that curb pick, you know, and making it beautiful. But today, yeah, she's going to be talking about using pages from old books and old sheet music and finding some new life and unique uses. Creative mind it takes to come up with that, and then we just sort of steal her ideas.
And she shows, you know, normal people like us how to do it, so we can live like an artist as well.
Right, you can go in and they walk you through the process and what works best for what you're working on. It's pretty
She does have
nice.
classes there, and she loves to teach, so I think that's really cool.
And she's so nice. She's easy to talk to, so that makes it way better
Definitely
overall.
Not intimidating.
Speaking of easy and nice to talk to, we are going to chat with the guys from AccuClimb Mechanical Services. These have been our go-to guys with all of our heating and cooling questions for our homes, but today we'll learn that they actually do so much more than that. Turns out that, well, maybe I shouldn't give it away, but you'll find out.
And since we're in an interior design place, I found this cool thing on Real Simple. Wanted to ask you ladies, so Michelle, what types of colors do you like to decorate your home in, typically?
You know, I kind of keep it neutral usually, but sometimes I like to add a couple bold colors on accent walls. I just painted one of the bedrooms like a coral color, actually.
Well, it says, according to Real Simple, if you like neutral colors, you have a feeling of permanence and a crisp, classic look. If this appeals to you, you're even-keeled and practical. Does that sound like you?
Usually, depends on the day, but usually.
And the jewel tones says that you like a little va-va-voom like celebrities. So you're also a little bit outgoing, confident, and creative, which I know that you are.
Sounds like you got the best of both worlds over there going on.
So check that out on Real Simple if you're wondering how you fit in. Well, stay tuned. We've got a lot of great guests lined up for you.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. Our next guest is a self-described addict of anything vintage or antique, and she's got a knack for taking those old forgotten items and making them new and unforgettable. Better than all that, she's got the passion and compassion for teaching the rest of us how to do the same. Now, this is our favorite do-it-yourself expert. She's been joining us for the last year, and this is her last appearance on Girl Talk. Please welcome Laura Diston of the Ironstone Nest of Sun Prairie.
Thank you,
Welcome.
Janet.
Thank you for joining us one more
I
time.
know, I'll miss you guys.
Your expertise has been great, and just you as a person is great.
Thank you.
We've
Thank
so
you,
enjoyed
Janet.
meeting with you. Most of the time that we've chatted with you, it's been about furnishings and finding that curbside item and, again, making it new and unforgettable.
That's right.
But today we're going to talk about something a little bit different. You're talking about old books, old sheet music, and things you can do with them. Tell us more.
Well, one of the things that is important for our store, obviously, is reusing and repurposing and getting people to look at things in a new way. And one of our very favorite things to use are old vintage books. The uses for them are absolutely endless. We've decorated our store walls with them. We've taught classes on how to repurpose them. And so it's a really big part of who we are. And again, if someone can even look at a book differently, imagine all the things that they can look at differently when you walk into an old antique store or anything like that.
No
Something
kidding.
as basic as a book.
What else can you do with vintage books?
You can stack them and make them into a lamp. You can take them apart and use the cover for a new journal that you might make for a friend. People make lamps, like I said, wreaths.
You know, on your website, I saw, you know, the old days, or they still do it these days, when you make the interlocking chains, like for Christmas, you know, kids making those. I saw, don't you have that on your website
Yes,
with sheet
so
music?
banners. Yes,
Is that what you call it?
yeah, so it's a banner or a pennant banner or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
That'd be a fun project with kids too.
No
Get
kidding.
them involved.
Yeah.
Heck with the kids.
This is also a fun thing that we have in our store too, which is a book that's been laser cut into a letter. And I brought a C, obviously, for CW57 today.
Oh, I thought it was for me.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And also like vintage children's books, you know, you can take them apart. They've got some cute graphics in there. You can take those apart and frame them. Yeah.
I gotta say, part of me is a little unsure about tearing apart a book.
I know.
It seems wrong, but
But I mean, what else are you going to do
Sentimental,
with it? I mean, are you going to read it? I mean, not all old vintage books are current for today, and you might not want to read it. But rather than sending it to Goodwill or the landfill, you can just do a craft with it.
Might be nice for a nursery too, you know, kind of. Yeah.
where do you?
And for you, that's a little nervous about pulling apart a book. You can take the sheet cover off, and these old books are very porous on their cover. You can paint them, actually.
Oh, that looks neat.
Yes, and
that's a good
make it
idea.
unique for your own decor
That looks really cool.
using paint that we sell in our store. So yeah, you can do that too. So then it's custom for your home and your style.
Where are you finding some of these older items, these books, and
You can get them online, on Etsy, on eBay. You can get them at your local antique stores. We have obviously a bunch of old vintage books. Estate sales. You just have to go on like Craigslist and search for estate sale, and you can find one near you. Yeah.
So tell us about like these amazing creations you've got here. These flowers, they're made out of pages.
Yes. So this is another use that you can do. These are great just for setting around. You can put them on string and again hang them right
banner
that's
style?
a
like
good
banner
idea.
style across.
Yeah.
These are great for weddings.
is this a lotus flower?
It is. It
Yeah.
is sort of like a lotus flower, and we teach classes on how to make these also. Yeah.
Now, is that something a novice can do?
Yes,
learn to do?
very basic, believe it or not. Yes, you don't need any artistic talent. Yes, just the will.
and a great teacher.
Yes, sure, of course, yes. So lots of uses for books.
Any other uses for pages? I mean, I suppose you could cut out just about anything.
Oh, you can make wreaths, you can make bookmarks, you can cut the spines off and hole punch it and make a bookmark for a friend.
Oh, that's
Their
interesting.
favorite book, maybe.
Such a great
All sorts of
idea.
things.
What
yeah.
a personal gift.
Exactly.
I love
Mhm.
that.
You can make purses out of books. I mean, I could just go on and on.
It's just full of great ideas.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming
course.
in. Not just today, but for the past year.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for
Afraid we're
having
out of
me.
time.
I know.
In the
They
bigger
were
sense
fast.
too.
Thank
So,
you.
Again, this is Laura Diston. She's from the Ironstone Nest in Sun Prairie. check out her store there. She's got so many great ideas. I'm sure she's got one for you. Moving on after the break, if you're looking for a go-to guy for your heating and cooling needs, we've got two right after this.
And welcome back to Girl Talk. With us now is AccuClimb Mechanical Services. This is Chris Pramis and John Minkowski. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us back again.
Now, AccuClimb is a really diverse company. Now, I've heard that you also work on commercial properties like restaurants and businesses, correct?
That is correct. Yep, we do all different various. We do hot side, cold sides, we do refrigeration, we do heating, air conditioning, obviously, of the restaurants, ice machines, but we also work on like the ovens, the grills, the fryolators, that type of stuff. So the hot side for cooking your food and things like that. So the whole area as well.
So go a little bit more into the hot and cold side. So the hot is going to be cooking.
Yeah, your flat top griddles, your fryolators, your ovens, that type of stuff, your broilers, all of that being the hot side for cooking your food.
And you do repairs or
Yep,
installations or?
We will put the equipment in, gas piping and stuff like that as well. But normally service, maintenance, repairs, that type of stuff. And then of course all of your coolers, your refrigerators, your freezers and everything within the restaurant. The ice machines, a lot of people don't realize we work service, lease ice machines as well if they're in need of one.
I did not know that, and I've been chatting with you guys for quite a while now.
Well, the easiest way to remember it is if it keeps the food hot or makes the food hot or keeps the food cold.
So the food just wants to feel just right too.
Pretty much. Who wants cold
make your meal just right.
Hot, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's really interesting. I feel kind of silly that I didn't know that. I just think of you as our furnace guy and our air conditioning guy.
But what's colder than ice? So yeah, I guess we should have known.
That's true.
So we're talking hot, cold, hot, cold. I know when I'm sitting in a restaurant, I don't want to be either one. So do you work on their heating and cooling systems as well to make us feel just right?
We do. Actually, we take care of the front end and the back end. I get people in back cooking your food. We work on the makeup areas. We work on the heating units for that area so they're comfortable while they're cooking. Not to mention that a cold kitchen means your food is going to be colder coming out of the kitchen than what it should be, as well as the person sitting out in the dining area. We want them to be comfortable and want to come back to the place that they're at, because if our restaurants succeed, obviously, then we're doing our job.
I gotta admit, I kind of forget that probably in the kitchen they're roasting. Meanwhile, in the rest of the restaurant, I'm usually cold, especially in the summer when they have the air conditioning turned up quite a bit, or do you say turned down?
Yeah, exactly.
Adjusted colder. I've been known to even take in a little lap blanket to the restaurants.
But you're right, that's got to be more difficult than it sounds like in the kitchen to get that just right and maintain that.
Well, in the kitchen as well as the dining room, because how many times you walk into a restaurant, it's humid in the seating area. Well, our job is to try and go in and make sure you're comfortable, because we want you to come back to that restaurant again. Exactly. And that's we want our people to succeed, so we try to help them with the comfort.
So you guys work on a ton of stuff. Is there anything that you don't work on?
We don't work on the we don't work on the dishwashers and the tap lines themselves, because those belong to the beer or the soda vendors. But we'll work on the coolers for the tap lines. So for the most part, that's pretty much the only thing we don't do. So it's pretty well soup to nuts with us. So we're a one-call, one-stop shop.
Wow, I'm really impressed. I mean, even more than usual.
So we're talking a lot about restaurants so far, but what about other commercial type properties, like places that rent out to families and that kind of thing? Do you work on that too?
We do. So when you get like a tenant owner type thing, we work on rental properties, multi-units, that type of things. We've got some great equipment and pricing structures for the landlord that wants to put in a reliable piece of equipment, but it's not his house. He doesn't need the best that can be out there. So we've got some things that make some nice fits and work very well with landlords and tenants in keeping them happy and satisfied.
The nice thing about that is Focus on Energy's got some programs out there regarding if you need to replace a furnace or an air conditioner, where you get some money back from the utilities. And it's based it's not based on the landlord's income, it's based off of the tenant's income. So there's money out there for people if their furnace or air conditioner goes down from Focus on Energy, as well as a tax rebate.
Was heating and air conditioning the basis of the beginning of your business, or what started? Because now you do so many things. I'm just curious, what came first?
My background is all of that, commercial, residential, I have
As
some
is mine,
industrial
so-
experience on the service end and that type of thing. John's background comes from that, as well as, like he said, from the wholesale end of it as well. So kind of we originally were encompassing all of it already, and the business did do that prior to, so.
Sounds like a good match.
Well, thanks so much for stopping by today, guys. We learned so much, as always. Sounds like you're doing a great job over there.
Thanks for having us out.
Exactly. Now stay tuned. We have more coming up right after this.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. This is our final segment. We're talking sleeper sofas. Now, what comes to mind when you hear sleeper sofa? I think saggy mattresses,
Big, clunky.
big and clunky, springs, bars, basically uncomfortable. And there's got to be viral videos out there of people getting trapped trying to lie there.
Or you hit your ankles, or
Yeah. Well, the sleeper sofas have really changed, and here to tell us about that is Danielle Curdy. She's from Rubens, where they have some really great ones that we're going to learn about in just a minute. Thanks for joining us and having us here today at
thanks
Rubens.
for coming. It's good to have you back again.
We sure love being here. So, before we talk about the sleeper sofas specifically, tell us what's going on inside Rubens for this month of March.
Sure. So this March, we have the American Leather Comfort Sleeper sale going on, and then we also have a fabric sale going on. So it's kind of what I like to say our version of March Madness.
Okay, excuse my ignorance. What do you mean by fabric sale?
So anything that you see in the store that has fabric on it, sofas, chairs, recliners, all of that is included in the
Okay.
fabric sale.
These pillows too? Or am I borderline?
Maybe you're stretching it on that one. That's a good question, though.
Yes, it is a good question. All right, so the leather comfort sleeper sofa and then fabric items.
Right.
Okay.
All right, so the American Leather Comfort Sleeper. It's
Yeah.
kind of a tongue twister. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. So the American Leather Comfort Sleeper is not going to be, like we were talking about, your traditional sleeper. There's no bars, no springs, so it's not going to sag like a traditional sleeper mattress. It's more of a foam mattress.
Oh, okay.
So it's very, very comfortable. They actually have 3 different types of mattresses that you can select in the Comfort Sleeper. You can do their Premier, which is going to be a little bit more firm, and then they have a gel and also a Tempur-Pedic if you really want to upgrade.
A gel
For you-
mattress?
Yes, yeah, and it's softer. It's very, very cushy.
And now people are able to come in and actually try out the different levels.
Yes,
and-
we have all 3 of the different mattress types on our floor, so we can test all 3 of them. So
Nice.
yeah,
And they sound fairly lightweight too, because you think of like everything being so heavy on a sleeper sofa, but like the gel, the foam.
right. And the mechanism when you're pulling them out is on a hydraulic sort of system, so they're really easy to use, very user friendly. And I mean, the sleepers themselves are a heavy duty piece, but yeah, the mattresses are really easy to pull out and use.
You're not fighting with it and struggling
Right.
with it like you always, remember back in the old days.
Let's tick off some of the changes and advantages from the old style sleeper sofa. So
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that you actually have more sleeping space. I think of a sleeper sofa as like your feet are kind of at the very end, and
Yes.
these are different.
Right, correct. So they have a special mechanism that actually allows for a full length mattress, so 80 inches on average. And it's not going to have that gap in the back where old sleepers where pillows would fall down and you'd lose things.
And I also had read that there's some sort of a shield underneath so that you don't get all the dust bunnies when you do pull it out for your guests.
Yes, yep, there's a shield because it'll actually be kind of what's here at the base of the sofa. And then there's also a shield where you're not going to hit your ankles and your shins.
Oh, I hated doing
Oh
that.
yeah.
You'd wake up in the middle of the night and you'd come back and you'd be hitting your shins on the metal bars. So it'll have a shield for that.
No more rude awakenings. That's
Right. Rude awakening, so well put.
And plus, they're just better looking, way more modern now.
They
You
are.
Come to the store and look around, you'll be really impressed.
Yes, they're definitely.
And Stacey, you
more
had mentioned them being big and clunky.
Yes.
Now these can come apart.
They do come apart. So let's say a client has maybe a small narrow space or a stairway that they need to get the sleeper up into. Our warehouse and our delivery guys can actually take them apart if need be. It's not something that they love to do, but if you have a guest room that's maybe in a basement, they can be taken apart.
Smart.
Mm-hmm.
Smart.
So how many different styles are there of sleepers?
So there's 14 different styles.
Wow, I thought you were going to say maybe
14?
three,
And again,
four.
where you're saying with the clunkiness, you
Yeah.
can get a really thin, narrow track arm. So again, that's going to maximize the space in the room. If you want to do a queen mattress, it'll have that thin, narrow arm.
And can you do leather too?
Yep, leather or fabric, so hundreds of different materials to choose from. And you can get them in any size too, from a cot sleeper to a king size.
Wow.
Wow.
So this sounds like a great way to convert a guest room into, or any room into a guest room.
An office, anything, just
Oh,
an
great.
extra sleeping space.
Sure, even for like cottages or things like that, I suppose.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so say somebody comes in and finds a couch that they like, and they don't like the color of the fabric. Are you flexible with them? Can they choose different colors?
Yeah, and that's why we're here as designers, so we can help them choose any different material that they want, whether it be leather or fabric, in all sorts of just anything you can imagine, colors, materials.
And you said this sale you're having, this promotion, is all of March?
Yes, so the Comfort Sleeper sale actually goes through April 5th, and then our fabric sale that we're kind of also having on the side is through the end of March.
Gotcha.
So, yep.
Great. Back to, I want to talk about these just a little bit more. So we're
Sure.
seated on an American Comfort product, but not a sleeper sofa.
Right. So this is an American leather piece. So
American leather. That's
American
what it is.
leather piece.
Okay.
So they also do stationary pieces. And that's a good point actually, because any of the sofa sleepers that you see, you can get those stationary. You don't have to get them as sleepers. They can just be a stationary product.
It seems like you guys can do anything.
We really can. Just, yeah.
You can make it.
Yes, and we'll make it work.
Yeah, exactly. You can have a certain size, especially with the sleeper sofas, and you can make it either way. You
Right.
can have leather, you can have fabric, you can have all
You could
sorts
just
of
have a
colors.
chair, and the chair can pull out into a cot or a twin. So
And plus you have this location downtown and the one over on Whitney Way.
we do. We have our West Side location as well, and they have Comfort Sleepers there too.
Great.
And they're
Alrighty.
also having the fabric sale this month.
Great. Well, this is Danielle Curdy. She's with Rubens, and she's one of their designers here. Thank you for having
Thanks
us.
again. It's always good to have you guys.
We learned so much.
Thanks to all of our guests. Thank you for watching. From all of us at CW, have a great week. We'll see you next time.